Hello viewers, this is GMC Children of Light talk show. God bless you guys for tuning in. So today we're here to discuss a serious topic of knife crime and gun crime in our community. We believe that knife crime is a very serious issue that we are facing today and we would really like to spread awareness from. So my name is Stella and I'm here today with my friends
Miracle, Kelly,
Kamzi,
and Vivian.
So guys, would anyone like to explain what is knife crime?
Yes, I'll explain. I think knife crime is when a person carries a knife for malicious intent or uses it as a way to hurt somebody.
Thank you.
I think a knife crime is a crime that involves a weapon and also it's threatening someone with a knife.
Thank you, Malcolm.
So I believe knife crime is committed when an individual carrying the knife has the intention of threatening, causing bodily harm, or worst case scenario, causing the death of another individual.
Thank you.
In addition to what everyone said, knife crime also includes carrying a knife that is banned and a murder where the victim was stabbed with a knife.
Thank you. So, what causes knife crime in our community? I feel like a lot of youths carry a knife around for protection, or maybe for self-defense. They feel like if in case they're ever attacked that they need to protect themselves, because some people just feel like the authorities may not do enough for them, so they take matters into their own hands. And another point that I have is maybe to gain respect. So a lot of youths believe that they need to be pushed up the social ladder and that this is the easiest way for them to make friends and to be able to be respected. Miracle, do you have any other points?
I think that knife crime is a result of having like bad friends. So if you have bad influences around you that can lead you down the wrong path because they're your friends, you want to please them, you follow what they do, so that can have a role in knife crime. I also feel like knife crime is a result of parental negligence. So if a parent isn't like caring about their child, isn't like looking about what they're doing and making sure their child is up to the right thing, then that can lead them to knife crime because no one's looking after them, making sure that they're doing the right thing. And also I feel like it's because of popularity. So some people find it cool to be like involved in such things, so they want to like push themselves up like a social ladder, so they turn to things like knife crime because they want to fit in. Thank you.
Thank you, Miracle. Kelly?
I think knife crime is mainly caused by environmental issues, such as where they live. For example, I know that if you grow up in a more poorer area compared to a rich area, maybe there's more times that you're going to be likely to commit crimes because of the environment you grew up in. I also think knife crime is also caused by reoffenders, as when people go to prison, when youth go to prison and they come out, they're more likely to fall back into the crime because there's nothing really to help them from where they've been, and there's nothing really to help them say, oh, here's a starting point. And I feel like that's a reason why people always go back to knife crime.
Thank you, Kelly. Kamsi?
So I think there are a few factors that can cause knife crime. One would be a lack of positive role models. So a positive role model can be a family member, teacher, celebrity, or basically anyone who can encourage you to make the right decisions. And if a youth doesn't have this can cause this can increase the likeliness of them being indulged in knife crime. An example of this would be a musical artist who incites violence through their music, and the youth would be inspired by this, not knowing the moralities of it. And another point I'd like to make is on social media. So I feel like loads of youth are exposed to many atrocities on the streets, which can misguide them and lead them onto the activities on the streets, such as knife crime and gang violence. And I feel like parents need to be in control of this and make sure they can be in control of what their children are looking at on social media, so it doesn't negatively impact them.
Thank you, Kamsi. Vivian?
I think a main factor would be that children and young people don't trust the authorities to protect them. So if they feel that society is unfair, they feel less inclined and they would not play by the rules. So they'll be more likely to lash out, which would make toxic environments and which would attract things like gangs and crime.
Thank you, guys. So how can we reduce knife crime in our communities? Kelly, would you like to start?
Yeah. I think one way we can reduce knife crime in our communities is by opening more youth groups and counselling for the youth. For example, for counselling, we can have support groups for the youth, because I feel like a lot of youth feel pressured by society and not being able to feel the confidence to talk to people like their friends or their family, because they might feel like they're getting judged. So if we open a safe space for the youth, or a forum for the youth to talk about their issues and what they're passing through, I think that would really help reduce knife crime. And I think opening more youth groups would help reduce knife crime as well, because I feel like a youth group is a really, really good way to let the youth socialise and talk to people their age, and they might have common ground on what they're facing. And I feel like those are the two main ways that could help reduce knife crime.
Thank you, Kelly. Miracle?
Thank you. So I think that a way we can help reduce knife crime is by setting good role models for children and engaging with children. So this is through influencers, people that are inspirational, that have messages about maybe their experience with knife crime, and they volunteer in certain places that have a lot of children, and so through that they can help the children open their eyes to how knife crime is and how bad it is and how they shouldn't be involved. Statistics actually show that in 2019, 4,000 knife crime offences were by the youth. So that's a lot, and shows that it really needs to be talked about. Another way we can help reduce this is by educating in schools. So I feel like in schools, a lot of our socialisation happens. So in schools, while we're still learning things and growing, we should be talking about how to reduce how to stop knife crime, because many children are doing it. So we can help by educating them while they're still learning about other things as well. And my next point is that youth groups. So because in youth groups you're socializing with a lot of other children, I feel like it's good that we help encourage children to go to youth groups, because they can learn good things from other children, and through that turn away from the bad path they were on. And also other children can help other children can help other children, because they're teaching each other different things, and so through that we can help reduce knife crime, and it also keeps them off the streets so they're not doing bad things. And statistics show again that the number of homicide victims for the age group 0 to 24 years is consistently the highest. So that shows that a lot of murder happens from those years, and so we need to talk more about how to reduce knife crime.
Thank you, Miracle. Kamsi?
So I've agreed with what everyone said, and I think an additional way we can prevent knife crime is to actually have parents take time out of their day to speak to their children. So I feel like they should allow their children to express themselves to them about problems that they have, because I believe in most cases youth don't want to talk to their parents because they feel like they'll be judged or their parents won't really understand. So I feel like having this can actually be vital for their well-being, and also I feel like this also helps them put aside any problems that they're facing, and maybe actually help you acknowledge ways that you could give them advice on this and actually just help them in general. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamsi. Vivian?
I think one good way to help reduce knife crime would probably be extra educational help. Because research shows that most of the people who indulge in these activities have either not done well in their GCSEs or have been unable to find a job. So if we provide the support that children need, then they will feel less lost and less inclined to resort to crime to earn money. Also, increased securities around schools, because research also shows that most knife crime happens in daylight around schools. So if we have people around here to prevent this, then maybe the rates and the numbers can drop, and we can help make the place a bit safer for everyone around.
Thank you. So I noticed that a lot of you guys spoke about youth centres being closed down. So I guess we all kind of feel strong about it. So does anyone kind of want to elaborate on how you feel like youth centres help with knife crime and reducing knife crime?
So I think that youth centres are really important, because I feel like it can play a big part in helping children find a new direction, because if they're surrounded by good influences, then that deviates them from that life of crime. I also feel like it can be a good way of escaping reality, so just good for their mental health, having that 1 hour or 2 hours to be with friends and socialise with people and escape from whatever's going on at home or whatever issues they have in their lives. And I also feel like some youth groups are religious, so through that they can help find a purpose, because it can help them find like a religion to follow and to believe in, and so that can also encourage them to like live a good life and not a life of crime as well. So I feel like that's really important.
Thank you.
Like Miracle said, I also strongly believe that youth groups really help reduce knife crime, as studies show that closures of youth groups are putting young people at risk, and youth groups are fundamental to ensure the safety of youths, and the areas that has suffered the largest cuts has seen an increase in knife crime. So clearly shown by the statistics, we can clearly see that when youth groups are closed down, knife crime rises up. And from the simple fact that even though youth groups are really good as well, it may not also be used to talk about knife crime issues, but like Morgan said, it's also a really good way to just escape or talk with friends or hang out with people and meet new people and socialize more. And through that, it can also get rid of like anxiety and antisocial behavior, and it can really just, bring out your true potential as well.
Thank you, Kelly. Kamsi?
So I feel like youth centres are an efficient way to rehabilitise youth, because I feel like many youth who visit youth centres regularly are usually from troubled backgrounds, and a youth centre in a way can be like a second home for them. So there's been some research which states there's been a 51% drop in youth centres supported by English councils in the last 3 years, and of English councils that have given information, 88% have seen at least one youth centre closed down. So I feel like taking away this from them actually increases the likeliness of them going onto the streets and, as I've said before, engaging in activities such as knife crime and gang violence. Thank you.
Thank you, Kamsi. Vivian?
Thank you. So I basically agree with what everyone was saying. I know that all of us here have been to a youth group, and we understand that we can make new friends, we can get into hobbies that would just kind of build our character, we can get work experience. It just gives us loads of opportunities to kind of get away from the streets and just do better things with our lives. So I feel like dropping the youth centres and just stopping it puts the youth more at risk, because we don't really know what to do. We use youth centres as a way to calm down, to communicate with others our age and talk about problems that we might have. So I think it would be best if they reopened it and gave us this kind of place for us to feel comfortable in.
Thank you, Vivian. So I also believe that youth clubs are there to help young people understand more about the world around them, and through youth centres, young people can be advised about their future, which can also help them to gain self-confidence and boost their self-esteem. And this also helps them with their leadership skills. Youth clubs, advise young people on growing up and being able to stay safe, healthy, and this is kind of like information that they may not get from their peers or even adults that they know, so like a family member and stuff. So it does just give more opportunities for young people, which again keeps them off the streets. So do we have any general advice that we would like to give the youths out there in our communities?
I would say that make sure you're surrounded by good friends, so people that are not going to pull you down but push you up, people that are not going to make you do bad things. And bad things, because it's not worth it in the end. It's not worth it at all. I would also say that you should think about the outcomes. So think about who you're affecting. You're not just affecting the person that you've hurt, but also your life, their family's lives, like the people surrounding them. It's like a lot of people you have to think about. For example, there's a lot of case studies where people have died from knife crime, like Anthony Walker. And he was 18 years old and he died from knife crime, and his family was very sad, and they talked about how they struggled to forgive the people that hurt him and their lives after Anthony had died. So it does show that the impact, it impacts other people around that person as well, not just the person that you've hurt. And I would also say that you should think about your life as well, because you probably go to prison and spend a long time there, and when you come out you're going to be struggling to find a job and to survive. So you shouldn't throw your life away because of that, doing that knife crime. So really think about the outcome and how you're going to be affected by it as well. So I have a Bible verse about this. from Luke 6 verse 31, which says, treat others as you would like to be treated. And it basically means that you should, show respect to others, and you should make sure that you're like treating others how you would expect to be treated yourself as well. Like, don't do to others what you wouldn't want done to you. And that's all I would say. Thank you.
Thank you, Miracle. Kim?
My advice for the youth would be not to take vengeance, as I feel like a lot of the reason why people resort to knife crime is because of vengeance and the hatred they have for some people. And I want to tell you that there are better ways to resolve your issues and better ways to resolve an argument than running to knife crime. Please talk to someone if you really need to talk to someone. Please just let people know that you don't have to go through this alone. And like Norco said, really surround yourself with good friends, as knife crime happens a lot also because of bad friends and bad influences, and because the people who you're around is what you're going to self-reflect on. So just surround yourself with good friends. Also know that there's going to be a lot of consequences if you do stab someone with a knife. For example, joint enterprise. Even if you don't kill someone, you can still be charged if someone is killed or injured in front of you. Carrying a knife itself, even if you don't stab anyone, carrying a knife itself, whether it be for protection or for safety or something like that, carrying a knife itself is a crime, and it holds a prison sentence of up to 4 to 5 years. And it will give you a criminal record. And once you get a criminal record, it's really hard to get a job, because that's the first thing people look at for when you go to a job. They'll ask for a DBS check, and through that they'll see if you have any criminal records or anything they need to be aware of. And you having a record of killing someone is not a good record at all. So please think before you do something. And as you know, a boy 14 years old, I think last week, he died due to knife crime. You've probably seen it on the news. And he was chased by 5 people before brutally being stabbed. And the effect of this is that when you stab someone, you need to think about who you're stabbing. It's not only about the people you're stabbing, but it's the family around them. It's the people who love them. It's also you, because you're going to feel a certain way. In the moment, you may feel like, you've done it, this is it now, but later on you're probably going to reflect like, oh, could have there been another solution instead of stabbing someone. And the parents of this boy were very, very, very upset, and you can see through the news, the mother was crying a lot and saying how she's supposed to live without her son, and how this taken a toll on her emotionally. So it's not only about you, but also the people's lives that you're ruining. And that mother is going to miss her son very much, and it's a very sad thing to happen. So please think twice before you do something. Also, a lot of people may think that knife crime is not really a huge thing in the UK, but it really is. And 46,015 police recorded offences involving a knife or a sharp instrument in the 12 months to December 2020. And 237 police recorded murders involving a knife or a sharp instrument in the 12 months to December 2020. And 24 children aged 17 or younger were murdered with a knife or a sharp object in 2019. This represents the highest number of children murdered in over a decade. So as you can see, knife crime is very, very serious issues. And my last point would be a Bible verse. It's Romans 12 verse 19, and it says, "Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, says the Lord." This basically talks about how not to seek retaliation, how to not seek vengeance, and instead to trust in the Lord and believe that things happen for a reason. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Kamsi?
Well, so my advice for youth would be to always think about the morality of what you involve yourselves to before carrying out, because I believe fighting for a postcode or always looking behind your back to see who's chasing you isn't really worth risking your life for another person's, because you may gain your other gang members' respect, but if you go to jail for stabbing someone, you end up in a really bad mental state, and if you come out of jail, you usually don't have any other job opportunities that you could have got before you went to jail. And also, I feel like you should also think about the impact of your action. You should always think about the impact of what your actions have on not only yourself but on other people as well. So there's a Bible verse which I think corresponds to this in Philippians 4 verse 8, which says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honourable, whatever is just, if there's any excellence, if there's anything worthy of praise, you should always think about these things. So I feel like in this way, you should just bear in mind the consequences of what your actions have. As I said before, not only yourself, but also on other people as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Quincy. Vivian?
So to basically round up what everyone has said, I just do want to repeat, do not suffer in silence. Don't keep all these things to yourself. There is always someone to talk to, whether that is professional help, so through therapy, or whether it's someone that you know and you trust. There are loads of documentaries, whether that's BBC or Netflix, and they talk about real life situations where people have been involved in knife crime, and they talk about the consequences of their lives and them being in jail or whatever, and just basically just explain how it's not worth it to lose a life over knife crime. Also, if it's possible, you should try mediation, and this is basically where both of the parties just try and sit and discuss the problems, try and solve it, instead of reacting straight away and using knives and force. And I'm just going to read a bit of a Bible verse, which is Jeremiah 22:3. It says, "Be fair-minded and just, do what is right, stop murdering the innocent." And this verse is basically trying to say that obviously we are all equal, and we should stop trying to hurt everyone else but be kind to everyone, and to try and change our morals and our thought processes. And through this will nurture us and try and deviate us from this knife crime.
Thank you. So I have a Bible verse as well. It's Matthew chapter 22 verse 39, and it says, "Love your neighbour as yourself." And this links to knife crime because at the end of the day, you're taking away someone's life. Everyone has mentioned this as well, but you're not only taking away their life, you're changing their whole family's life as well. Just like Kelly was talking about the boy that was stabbed in Birmingham, his mum was mentioning how he would always bring her medication to her, he would always make her tea. It's just those little things, and now she's saying who's going to look after her, who's going to give her her medication, because it's the son that always remembers to bring it for her. It's those little things, like you're not just taking away their life, but you're changing their family's life, and this is something that stays there permanently. Think about your actions before you do it, because at the end of the day, you're ruining your own life as well. You're going to be put in prison, and when you come out, you're basically not going to have a future, because anywhere you apply for, any job, anything you try and do, that record is always there. It's like following you around like a shadow. It's always with you. So try your hardest to try and stay away from bad influences. If you feel like the friends that you have or the people that you have around you are pushing you to do something bad, then talk to someone about it, or try and literally stay away from them. Statistic also shows that 7 out of 10 young people who end up in A&E with a knife injury have actually been stabbed with their own knife. So carrying a blade actually puts you at risk. So please try and speak to someone you know or someone you can trust and put your knives down. So this takes us to the end of our talk show. Thank you everyone for listening. If you have anything that you would like to speak to us about as a youth or parent, please contact us. We have loads of ways to contact. So we have WhatsApp. I'm just going to give you guys the 2 phone numbers. We have 074 50 14 8242. So that's 074 50 14 8242. And the other WhatsApp number we have is 079 30 34 0445. So that's 079 30 34 0445. On Instagram we are _.childrenoflight._. Facebook we are Children Light. Email it's gmcchildrenoflight@gmail.com. And finally our YouTube, Children of Light. So please guys, don't forget to follow us on all our social media, and thank you all for watching. Bye.
Bye.